Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and I have posted 5 different videos on my YouTube channel so far, and I would like to thank you for some of you guys who've left some comments or subscribed my channel or even followed my Instagram account. Yeah, I would like to say thank you so much for all of your support always. So, in today's video, I'm quite excited to talk about and share my English learning journey with you guys, which is mainly about the mindset when learning English or any other language, something like, it could be anything, like German, or Vietnamese, Korean, Italian, Spanish, French, yeah. And hopefully you will get some positive insights about starting something new or starting to learn a new language like English with a healthy mindful habits or routines, because I am going to share my own personal, really personal story with you guys today, and they might sound a little bit sad at some point, but no worries. The bottom line is that I really want you guys to know that the most valuable thing to have in your mind when you keep studying English and follow your dream is that you need to have this great positive mindset. Okay? So yeah, let's begin with a very common saying, like, when you study English or any other language, second language, you can expand your thoughts and start to see the world differently in a positive way. Well, yeah, I think that's true. I believe so. And however, let's say you started something new, or let's say you start to learn some new language, like English, and spend a couple of years or maybe a decades. Now you ended up having a good command of English, and here's real question I want to give you, and which is, how can we manage and deal with our emotional ups and downs while we still keep studying English even after you master a certain level of English proficiency? And how can we cope with a gap or stress that arises from the gap between the ideal self and the reality? Can we always stay motivated to keep learning, keep going with English learning, and be the best version of ourselves? Well, these questions are the ones I've been asking to myself for quite some time. Maybe for the past few years. And I'm being honest today with you guys. I've reached a certain level of English proficiency now, and I've received a better IELTS or a TOEFL scores, and I use English as a tool and in my workplace daily. I constantly have a meeting over Zoom with my workmates. They are from many countries, and they have a variety of backgrounds, cultural, ethnic backgrounds, and yeah. But however, the only experience I have in overseas is the exchange program that I participated in when I was in uni, which was almost like 10 years ago, and the duration of that program was less than 4 months, only just 4 months. I was just staying in New Zealand in 4 months, and which was a great thing. I had been dreaming about studying in New Zealand for so long, since I was a kid. And yeah, and I still believe that experience is one of the most unforgettable and speechless opportunity that I could get in my life. And yeah, that's the very reason why I'm always talking to myself, saying like, why am I still in Japan? Well, am I supposed to stay and settle down somewhere around the world, like especially in New Zealand, and have the best life there? What am I doing here? Sticking here in Japan? Like, I can't do anything alone without anyone's support. And trust me, I'm almost obsessed with using this social media, especially Instagram. And whenever I opened my Insta, I unconsciously, scroll and check many people's reels or stories, which are mainly about, moving to overseas, or what it is like to live in Australia, or maybe it could be like my first working holiday experience vlog, stuff like that. And I know I have been influenced by all these stuff in a negative way. And here's what happened always. So after scrolling so many reels and stories or posts about living in overseas or in another countries, I always fall into self-loathing, which means 自己嫌悪 in Japanese, because I have been told myself, I have been telling myself things like, I am the one who moved to New Zealand, especially New Zealand, because New Zealand loves me. I love New Zealand, and I am good at English since since when I was very young. I mean, 9 years old. I have been really good at English, and I can picture myself settling down in New Zealand, work hard every day. And now, what am I doing now? I am stuck here in Japan, suffering from a mental illness, which I'm gonna talk about a little bit later, in details with you guys. And I don't even have a courage to fly to New Zealand alone. What a pity, And that's what I've been, that's what I always been telling myself and thinking about my life for the last couple of years. That's what happened actually. So what I am trying to say now here is that I couldn't deal with the gap between my ideal self and the reality, which means the gap between what I really want to be or what I really want to achieve and what I am capable of doing right now, back then. And on top of that, I've been putting too much pressure on myself. Now, based on my own experience that I told you, there is one crucial thing I want to tell you about the mindset thing, which is that there is actually a beneficial way to cope with the gap between the ideal and reality. And it is very simple, actually. All you need to do is start telling yourself that every single person has an opportunity to get to make one's dream come true. That's it. Pretty simple, easy, right? And what is more is that the timing we get the opportunity to make our dream come true varies from person to person. So please don't compare yourself or your current life to others. Please. That's the real message that I wanted to tell you in this video today. And to make this advice or my message sound more realistic, I want to share one more my personal story with you guys today. So last year, I've got a dream to get to the United States to become a language Japanese language teacher at one of the best universities in the United States. However, as the day I need to leave Japan approached, I felt so, how do I put into words? I felt so depressed, and I felt even afraid of what's waiting for me in the United States. And the one thing led to another. I ended up declining the offer from the university, and I missed the great opportunity to work as a Japanese language teacher in the States. As I told you before, I was trying so hard to be positive and aiming higher always, because I had been thinking that aiming higher is a good thing, and I just wanted to simply improve my English skills more and to achieve my dream in the United States. But what actually happened to me last year was I kept crying for days and days, and was disappointed about myself, and kept blaming myself for not participating this program, which was a great offer, because I thought I was fragile and weak, didn't have enough courage to fly to United States to achieve my goal. And spending days and weeks and even couple of months with such sad feelings had a negative effect on my health as well. My health, my body as well. And I was diagnosed with anxiety disorder and autonomic dysphonia last summer, and since then I've been taking a certain medicine daily, still now. And what I had been going through was a nightmare, and I forced myself and put too much nani nani subeki in Japanese on me, I just kept saying oh, I am supposed to work in overseas and become a better version of me, of myself as soon as possible, or oh, if I miss this chance, I will never get a chance to stay in overseas, or maybe oh, this might be my last chance to go abroad because I need to have a kid before I turned 30. Now, since I'm 29 years old, I put too much pressure on me, and saying the thing like that. And eventually I crashed under the pressure, which is ironic because I was the one who put the huge pressure on myself. For the past few years, I was just so depressed, so desperate. I was so desperate to get an opportunity to go abroad, and didn't see the most important thing in our life. Well, my symptom is staying mild, and I'm dealing with it very well now. So let's just stop talking about my health conditions here, because I don't want this video sounds a bit sad to you guys. So yeah. And one of the reasons that I'm sharing my story, very, very personal story with you guys, is that because I can feel better now, actually. And I'm enjoying the process of becoming a better version of myself now. Yeah, actually. And you know why? Because as I went through this dark moments, nightmare last year, there's one crucial thing I learned from that experience, which is that being open about my weakness or my true self can make you appear confident and even wisdom. And before going further about this discovery, great discovery, here is another story I want to share with you guys. Sorry about this sharing thing. But this is very important to share, I think. And this story has happened on December 2024, which is last December. Well, my husband and I were chatting over coffee at our favorite cafe on one weekend, and suddenly my husband said, like, hey, how about how about going on a short trip to somewhere this holiday? And the next thing happened was me saying, well, how about flying to New York City? Well, I was half excited and half worried and nervous because my symptom was still not mild, still not stable, and at that time, and staying inside, imagining staying inside in the airplane for like over 10 hours makes me really anxious. But before I knew it, we ended up getting a pair of tickets to New York City. That's what happened last December. November, yeah. And I still can't believe it that I was the one who suggested us to go to the New York City with that health condition. But everything went smooth, surprisingly. And even my how do I pronounce that? Psychiatrist, 精神科医さん, 精神科医, prescribed a specific type of medicine just in case. I had never touched or opened the package of that medicines during the trip to New York City. So, well, I guess this trip to New York City changed my life. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And for your information, New York City is one of the most memorable and unforgettable places for me, because I visited New York City as an exchange student when I was in middle school, when I was 17, and I spent a few weeks there with American high school students at Townsend Harris High School. And I believe that the positive impact of that experience on me was huge. It's really huge. It's big deal, and to me back then. So this time as well, I know New York City always loves me, and I believe there is a God in New York City who always protect me from something bad. So rather than faking your confidence, showing your authenticity makes you realize that there is always a chance, always a way to solve the problems that you're facing, or even get another chance to get closer to your dream plan. And in my case, my husband played a crucial role as someone who lifted me up to the bright spot from the dark spot. And even more, I made a phone call. I remember I made a phone call to one of my best friends a few days before we flew to New York City this time, because I was filled with this mixed feeling of excitement and anxiety, to be honest. And anxiety weighed over excitement, actually. And that my best friend, she and I always share our ups and downs of our lives, and so I was able to show my true self and told her that I was feeling afraid of spending so many hours in the airplane, that or something like, what if something urgent happens during my trip or something like that. And then she gave me such practical functioning advices, and they made me feel so chilled and relaxed. And I think the words she gave to me were almost like a lucky charm. And Also, I truly believe that if I made a decision to accept the offer from the university in the United States last summer, I couldn't have been to New York City with my husband. And now I'm sure that I made a right decision, quite sure. And I know that I couldn't learn this important lesson if I haven't hit the rock bottom and gone through this such a nightmare last summer. So yeah, big thanks to my husband and my best friend. I really truly believe that I was able to get this great opportunity to visit New York City, and because I was open about myself and my weakness, and I showed my true self to husband and to my best friend without faking my confidence. And I still have this huge dream that I want to spend a couple of years in New Zealand with my husband and with my kid, hopefully, and get a job there. And I'm not saying that this dream has already come true, but now I know how to handle the gap between the ideal self and the reality, as I told you before. And just remember, just wait for a right moment, and when that moment comes to you, just seize the moment with no hesitation, because now I know that every single person has an opportunity to make one's dream come true. Don't compare to that about others, and just put your phone away when you realize that you are watching someone else's Instagram reels or stories and feel jealous, and just turn off turn off your phone and put that away. And it's just they're having their best life, because now is the timing for them to make their dream come true. But it's not yours, obviously, and your timing is definitely coming. I believe so. My timing is definitely coming. I mean, probably it's actually around the corner, as long as I truly believe in myself and keep on keeping what I truly love. That makes sense, right? So yeah, that's all from today's video. That's all that I wanted to tell you and share with you today in this video. And I hope you've got some new insights or inspirations from what I told you, what I shared with you today. And believe me, having a good mindset when you learn English or when you start something new is a key to keep going keep motivated to do that thing. And it doesn't necessarily have to be about learning English. It could be anything. It could be anything, like, as I told you before, it could be like playing some new instruments, studying something new, studying about a qualification that you need to have for your dream career, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's all from today's video. Hope you've got some new insights or inspirations from what I've told you or what I've shared with you guys today. Believe me, having a good mindset is a key to keep going when studying English, or keep going with starting something new, something you love. So if you like this video, as always, please subscribe to my channel or leave some comments or questions. You are more than welcome. I'm really happy to answer to all your questions. So until next video, take care and stay tuned. Bye.